So I went on Amazon and I found a book called Mommy's Giant Melons. I also found some other great ones, such as D's Big Nuts. D was a squirrel who had big nuts. Silly guy. His nutsack was so big that it would drag on the ground everywhere he went. Wow, that's pretty big. D had a friend named Sarah who loved nuts. Sarah would go around town trying to put everyone's nuts in her mouth. Silly Sarah. What are you doing? Sarah loved how big D's nuts were. His nuts were her favorite. They were the biggest nuts she had ever seen. Wow! She would play with his nuts all day, and sometimes even at night. Sometimes her mom would join. They would take turns holding D's nuts at night. Wow, what a great plot. Sometimes Sarah would even try to put both of D's nuts in her mouth at the same time. Wow, she would giggle, her face would turn red, and then his nuts would come flying out. Now, I must remind you, please don't make edits of me reading this with vine booms. I would appreciate it. One day, someone ran up to his nuts and started poking them. Oh no! Hey, jerk! Off my nuts! He said, with an angrily expression on his face. I would say the same. Although Sarah loved these nuts, she would sometimes kick them. Remember, kids, kicking someone's nuts is never a nice thing to do. She once kicked them so hard, she busted a nut. Big no-no. Never, ever bust other people's nuts. D was very sad that Sarah busted his nut. He just wanted Sarah to play nice with his nuts. Oh, he's thinking about the good times when Sarah was playing nice with his little nuts. Now, even look at this. The attention to detail is incredible. One of the nuts is busted. Oh, poor guy. I can't even imagine what I would do if one of my nuts busted. One day, when his nuts were feeling better, she took them to lunch, where she got peanut butter all over them. His nuts were so sticky. Oh, not again. After that day, she knew she would need to play nice, because all good squirrels know how to play nice with big nuts. The end. What a great novel. Next up, we have another absolute classic, Do You Want to Play with My Balls? By the Cifaldi brothers. Illustrated by Santiago Elizalde. Big fan. Look at that. Hey, Louie, do you want to play with my balls? Sure, Chuck. I can hold your ball sack so it won't drag on the ground. What a nice friend. Wow, your balls are so big, I can't even fit them in my mouth. Look at that. Having so much fun. This is exactly what my childhood was like. My mom's always yelling, Louie, get those balls out of your mouth before you choke. God, be careful, Louie. You know that mean girl, Sally? She squeezed my balls so hard, they looked funny. Sally, you can't go around squeezing people's balls, silly. Yeah, well, when I play with Sally, I always end up with blue balls. With blue balls. Ugh, that's the worst. Billy Johnson made Sally cry last week. Now that kid has got balls. Look at him making Sally cry. She deserves it. Not anymore. Yesterday, Sally kicked Billy's balls so hard, he lost one. That's the worst. It's happened to me twice. Oh, look, Louie. Your dog is licking my balls. Wow. Let's roll them on Sparky's fur. Girls hate hairy balls. You know, Chuck, if we show Sally our hairy balls, she'll scream for sure. It's getting a little strange. Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of like Sally. I wish she would play nice with my balls. Yeah, me too. Why does that kid look like Megamind? Hi, Sally. Do you want to play with our balls? Sure, but only if I could play with both of your balls at the same time. And everyone lived happily ever after. The end. What a great novel. Next up, we have maybe the greatest book of all. Mommy's Giant Melons by Mama JC. Illustrated by Gus Yawan. Huge fan. Mommy's Giant Melons. Dedicated to my mother. I went to the store with my mommy today, and a gentleman stopped her along the way. Oh, what's the gentleman gonna say? Excuse me, missus. I can't help but stare. Those melons are the largest I've seen anywhere. Thank you, good sir. I'm glad you approve. But staring, you see, is incredibly rude. Her melons were huge, you couldn't imagine. Like Mars in the sky or eggs from a dragon. So pretty big. The melons were thrown in a sack round her shoulders. At a distance, they looked like a couple of boulders. But even despite a strong double bag, before we could leave, they started to sag. So wrapped in a shirt, we were off for a stroll through Central Park, a melon patrol. How fun. Going for a walk. Wow. This illustration really brings out the melons, doesn't it? Okay. Some were in shock, while some simply gazed at the monstrous melons. They were truly amazed. Wow. Hey there, Betty. Do you think you could share? It looks like you've got plenty of melons to spare. Aren't they both great? I'd share if I could, but these are for hubby. Get some. They're good. Wow. Looks like the melons are starting to fall out. Better put those away. When they handed out melons, all we could find were the size of a lemon, and that would be kind. It's okay, ladies. You can always get more. Dr. Michael sells melons, you know, by the score. He looks nice. Dr. Michael sells melons? I wouldn't have guessed. He helped me get mine. His place is the best. It was lovely to chat, but we'll be on our way. I'm feeling unsafe with these two on display. Okay. Has nobody seen massive melons before? I said as she squeezed them to fit through the door. You're right, kid. That's true. But you have to admit, melons this giant are hard to forget. The end. If we get 10,000 likes, I'll do part 2 with Wanna Bone, The Great Master Baiter, Put Tony's Nuts in Your Mouth, and Who Will Help Jack Off the Horse? What the fuck?